Good evening. Welcome to Go Deep Dive, episode 20. Not
20.
counting not counting all of the recaps and everything else that we've done, the extra little things here and there. We've made it to 20.
20. We're 6
One
weeks
episode
away
away
from half a year.
6 weeks away from half a year. Well, we did skip that 1 week where I was in Europe.
We did.
So
we did. Yeah.
5 weeks.
5 away, yeah.
Crazy. We need to plan a fishing trip. Maybe Lane Kiffin will take us, considering he's elite at landing big fish, huh?
That's an elite transition there. That's an elite. Let's get right into it. That's what I'm talking about.
Oh, man. That's one of the things I pride myself most on is the transitions and catching you off guard when I need to.
You always do. Every single time.
Lane Kiffin and company landing two massive defensive backs, 4-star Jaden Anding and fellow 4-star Carnell Greedy James. First thing I want to say, something about a defensive back at LSU going by the nickname Greedy just feels so right, man. Feels so right.
It does, yeah. And I mean, it doesn't really matter what their name is either, like, or what star they are too. Like, there's something about cornerback as well where I'm just like, yeah, he's gonna be a stud. We just know because of who's coaching him. But yeah, I thought Lane couldn't recruit. I thought I was told that. I made the joke before. I thought that he would hurt without Frank Wilson. Also, I don't know what's going on. Like, maybe Lane's just playing NCAA 27 right now, and it's just coming together in real life, but I don't know.
Well, the question is did Lane spend the extra $100 to get his coach to the max level so he could get those recruits? Oh, that was a great shout out.
He took his grocery basket home, so he definitely did.
We'll talk more about that later. Yeah. Greedy James flipping from Texas, a big steal. Is there another steal from Texas on the horizon? Meanwhile, Jaden Anding commits over Ole Miss, a few others. Frank Wilson not able to get the job done, not able to get Jaden Anding to Ole Miss. Crazy, man. I thought Frank Wilson was the one doing all the work, like you said. But fantastic nonetheless.
Yeah, it's man, they seem to be able to roll. Like, I know this is kind of like the hot spot for, recruiting and all, as far as the timeline and all, but just going on like this, I don't know. He like never stops, and that's exactly what we wanted, when we wanted Lane Kiffin is just like a tireless worker. And we've talked about that. Koki talked about that last week about, how Brian Kelly didn't seem to want to take that extra step, that extra work, as far as like the normal day-to-day stuff in season, like that's one thing, but like this is what we're seeing. Like this is where like you're reaping what you sow, where like in a good way, Lane's doing the work. The whole staff, obviously, not just Lane. You give credit to all of them. Coach O, obviously, is a big part of it. But just tireless, man. And they're not done. Like, that's the thing. You got the two biggest fish are still hopefully around the corner. So, like, we're going to need a picture with two bigger fish.
We might have to Photoshop, like, massive great whites for the thumbnail if they're able to flip Jalen Brewster and Easton Royal. Here's the thing, like, Easton Royal will probably have to wait until closer to signing day. Brewster, a lot of people are 50-50 on. I'm also kind of in that bucket. But, man, if he's able to pull both off, that really puts the Lane Kiffin can't recruit narrative to bed for sure. And then my thing with Brewster is we played the video on our show, or we showed the picture on our show of Coach O getting his hands on Jalen Brewster. Like, you can't. It's the good vibes. Like, it gives me good feelings that this is actually going to be like okay, yeah, like you're gonna get him. I'm not like fully confident, like not 100%, but like it makes me lean in direction. Like, yeah, they're gonna get him because you get Coach O to put his hands on them and play with these
Right.
guys and be willing to coach them even before they're committed.
Right.
Imagine what you're going to get afterwards.
Yeah, right. With Brewster, I'm almost like the opposite of what like I've been saying with Easton Royal, where I've been like cautiously optimistic, where I'm just I don't know. I've seen his posts. This is a little bit changed. We've gotten more information like the last like month or so, but I've been saying, when he was taking his trips and all that, like he's enjoying the ride, which he should, like where he's at Florida, I can get used to this, and all. It's just, and even when he was at his last time in Baton Rouge for his visit, and everything he was saying, and everyone was getting hyped up, and I'm like, I don't know. Part of me was like, just not pessimistic, but just like I said, like just cautious, where it's like he's just playing the game, which, like I said, that he should. Brewster, on the other hand, I'm like not cautioning myself to where if it doesn't happen, like I'm going to be genuinely disappointed because I just expect it to happen at this point. I mean, I shout out AP. Like I think AP said he thinks that both decisions could actually come this month. Like which has been a difference. I mean, it seemed like Royal was going to let it play out. But I know AP's talked about maybe Royal wants to just get it done and go into his senior season at Brother Martin with no distractions, which makes sense. It makes sense, but yeah, it's gonna be interesting to watch. I don't know if it came up. Yeah, I know he was working on stuff for And the Valley Shook. Shameless plug there, but go check out. Like AP's been doing the Lord's work with football recruiting. So, but yeah, it's gonna be fun to watch.
It'll be extremely fun to watch, especially I don't know. I'm don't have sourced opinions on this. It's just my thoughts basically. I see Royal kind of waiting and making a decision closer to signing day just to continue entertaining things, I guess, for lack of a better term.
That would kind of go with what I was saying that I thought he was doing. So yeah, that would make sense.
Yeah, but AP has his connections, man. AP's got his connections. I'm not going to doubt AP.
No.
I think I'm more so just hopeful to see LSU and Texas go into that game together. Eastern Royal.
Eastern Royal on the sideline on a LSU visit.
And late. And then it's like, okay, all right, I'll commit to LSU now.
just let Eastern Royal do, like the Saints do the Who Dat chant before the game. They send somebody out to do it. Just like I don't know, lead the Go Tiger or something like that. Let them go out to midfield and get the whole crowd ready. I let them get on a trumpet and play pregame or something. I don't know, but man, that's going to be awesome. That's got me very excited. The thought of that as well. Don't get me wrong. I would love to have an answer this month. Like that would be awesome
100%.
To get it out so we know. But hey, if he wants to play the game and but it's like this is summer things for us too. Like once September rolls around, like not saying we won't care about an Eastern Royal and what he's doing, but we have a lot more to pay attention to when that comes. There you go. AP's in the chat now. I'll pull it up.
Texas game will still have a meeting. He can flip or reconfirm, but he will be in that stadium for that game, and it will matter. Ooh. Oh, it's his birthday this month. Well, happy birthday, Easton Royal. Happy birthday.
Yeah. We can get you something nice. Louisiana. If you make your right decision.
We can get you a nice NIL Canes deal.
I'm sure Gordon gives good birthday presents.
From what I hear, he does.
I'm sure.
Oh, man. Lane Kiffin and his staff, not the only ones landing a big fish. Since the last time we had a show, Jay Johnson lands one as well. Angel Laya, Oregon outfielder, committed from the portal to LSU. Pretty massive addition for the baseball Tigers, don't you think?
Oof. It's kind of like Jay started. He wasn't the first one, but like started. It was in the beginning. Started and ended this portal class with two bangers, with Bino Waters and now Angel Laya. Man, I had a cousin. I'm not gonna shout out his name because he critiques our Tiger Moore every single week. So I'm not even gonna give him his name. If he hears this, which he won't, because I tell him every single time, as he texts me on Thursday when we release the graphic, he'll text me his critiques, and I'm like, we explained this in the show. Like everything, if you just watch it, I'm like, you're like one of the trolls on Tiger droppings that just comes there bitching and like doesn't even have the context of it that's in the show. And his response, to be fair, he said, David, I know who I am. I'm aware. I'm like, okay. Scotty Mac, by the way. If that wasn't obvious. If that wasn't obvious. But I forgot even where I was going with that. But I completely forgot where I was going with that now.
I'm not sure how we got there either. Talking about Angel Laya, landing big fish, Bino Waters on the front end, Angel Laya on the back end. You said you weren't going to shout him out because he said something to you about.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Thank you. He mentioned the other day. No, thank you. That's everyday life of Dave. Go ahead, make your old jokes. He said we're sitting there on the 4th of July the other day, and he mentioned he's like he's like the Tommy White of this class. And I was like, at first I was like, what do you mean? He's like, it's like Jay's Tommy White of this class. And I'm like, he swings left-handed and he plays outfield. What do you mean? He's like, no, like 2 years. He's like the big guy. He had like a fantastic, all freshman team year. Now he comes and you get 2 years of him and all that. I'm like, okay, that makes sense. So yeah, that's the exciting thing. Like you look at Bino Waters, you look at Jason Wax, you look at Dawson Park, you look at Kate Curl, like every name that you can throw out there, for the most part, you get 1 year of. It's like a 1 year rental. That's mostly what the portal is. Laya, you get 2 years of him. We'll see if he plays at least. Yeah, right. At least 14 home runs as a freshman. I was trying to pull up the stats. I didn't have it, but 14 home runs. He hit over 300. I think he hit even higher in Big Ten play, and not that Big Ten's like the powerhouse conference or anything, but still to hit that well inside of conference play. When they're playing teams like UCLA and some good schools in there. It's impressive, man. I would imagine as of now, I would guess that he's your opening day right fielder. That's assuming that we don't have any surprises with the draft. But I would imagine he's just starting right fielder for next year. He's super athletic too, man. He's like 6'3", 200 pounds, like big dude.
Yeah. I mean, he's going to be really, really fun. That outfield in general is going to be really, really fun.
You remember how we went into last year talking about how LSU had the best outfield in the country? And like, it was right. Like that was fair to say.
100%.
Like Curriell, Jake Brown, then Stanfield was coming off of a year where he led the team in SEC hitting. And like now you look at it and it's like, could it be better? Like, it's crazy. I don't want to get into that habit of overthinking things too early and being set up for disappointment. But man,
I think from a power perspective, despite you having Jake Brown last year, it's definitely better because you have more power consistently across the board.
Yeah.
Defensively, potentially, it's hard to say without knowing exactly where they're all going to fit in.
Right.
And it's also hard to beat the defense of all three of those guys. But from a power perspective, no doubt it's better.
Yeah, I would 100% still say this past year defensively, because now next year you're talking about like somebody's got to move to center field, like that hasn't played center field. So that's obviously I guess you can make that point for Curriell. I mean, last year he did move to center field. But yeah, this was a guy like Laya was a guy that was like one of these Nathaniel Davises or even probably like a Malachi Washington, who we don't expect to make it to campus in this class for LSU, where like Oregon was surprised they got him. Like he could have got drafted last year.
Was he originally committed to LSU at some point, or did Perfect Game throw me a loop by putting him into LSU's class when I looked at their class?
Not that I know of. I hadn't seen that.
Maybe Perfect Game was just messing with me by changing their history of past classes, because I was looking at the 2025 Perfect Game class, and I was like, Angel Laya is on there. And you might be able to even see the face that I made, because I was looking at it while we were talking to Jason, and I was like, but I didn't want to. I didn't want to say anything while we were in the middle of talking to him, and I forgot until now to ask you that.
I don't. Not that I know of. I could be wrong. I just hadn't seen that. But I mean, I'm looking. I got the numbers.
Hey,
This is the other thing too. Hey, Alex, good to see you. Always good to see you in the chat, Alex. This is probably my favorite stat for Laya too. Not the 14 home runs, not the 47 RBIs, not the 296. It's that he only struck out 34 times and 223 at bats as a true freshman when he started 59 games like that. And then he also walked 27 times and got hit by 10 pitches. So he drew more free passes than he struck out as a true freshman. That hits for power. 538 slugging. Yeah, like 40. It was 396 on base percentage. He was ranked the number 12 freshman by Perfect Game when he went to Oregon, like in last year's like freshman class. Just incredible, man. I don't. We had reported, that LSU was trending towards Alec Blair, and it was at the time. So we were told. Part of me is wondering if that was a smokescreen, like, because we got it from multiple sources. Everybody heard the same thing. Was that like what they were putting out there, while this was going on in the background? Because we were also told by one of the people that told us about Blair that Laya. I asked when the announcement for Laya came out, was Laya the pivot from Alec Blair, or was it Laya over Blair the whole time? And he said Laya over Blair. So this was their guy.
I go ahead. Yeah, I'm sorry.
No. I was pretty much done. Yeah, go ahead.
No, I'm kind of thinking, because Laya was connected to Texas and Texas A&M, if I'm remembering correctly, like two very big NIL schools, especially with baseball. I'm wondering if they were worried about being able to match the numbers that they were going to get from Texas and Texas A&M, and started feeding info about Blair as a fault, like saying, hey, we'd like Laya, don't know if we're going to be able to get him, but we're leaning towards getting Alec Blair right now. And then when the number worked out for Laya, that's when they said, when it was like, okay, cool, we'll take him.
That's very possible. And Blair too also had a history with Jay. Like, Jay recruited him hard, last year, and then he committed to Oklahoma. So there was some familiarity there. I can never say that word perfect, but that was maybe part of it too, where I don't know, not that it was, the reports were just assumption based, but there was definitely something there too. I even saw some Oklahoma fans saying that, like, they had been hearing about rumblings with LSU since while the season was still going. So I don't know, but I'll say this: I'm not saying it just because this is how it worked out. I'd prefer Laya, like, by a
100%.
mile.
Yeah, I mean,
by a mile. Like, Alec Blair could end up being a second round draft pick in 2 years, but this is the thing: Laya is an immediate starter. Blair was kind of like, maybe, like, he's more of a project, like he's less polished, and obviously athleticism usually wins out in college. But Laya is stepping onto your field as a starter right away. And I mean, I guess since we've talked about this a lot, like, we can also say, like, one of the first reactions when we heard this news too was it seems like this puts a bow in the Jake Brown conversation.
Whereas the Alec Blair stuff really didn't.
No.
The Alec Blair stuff was not necessarily a deterrent from us thinking Jake Brown was a possibility. Angel Laya has got me moved down to like 5% Jake comes back now.
Yeah. We've heard some other things too, where it seems like Jake's trending back towards the draft, or I don't want to say back. We had heard that it was also looking like LSU before the Laya thing, but nonetheless, it's Angel Laya, and it seems like we can go into the draft and root for Jake Brown to get drafted, in the
Yankees.
second round. Definitely not. I'm not rooting for that. I am not. I want that on the record at 8:21 on Wednesday on July 8th, 2026. I am not rooting for Jake Brown to get drafted by the Yankees at all.
Here's my thing: is I have a lot of Yankees memorabilia that I hardly ever wear. Right. I'm thinking that I just may ride whatever team Jake Brown gets drafted by as my new team. Seems like a decent solution that I think everybody can who's encouraging me to be a Braves fan can get behind.
Yeah, I mean, hey, we somebody heard it from the man himself that he would love to get drafted by the Braves. So let's make it happen. Let's make it happen.
We shall see. I would have to buy a Braves hat. That's one of the few that I don't have, but Anyway,
Robbie. Robbie, my favorite.
Anyway, let's shift over to
AP. Look at the standings right now, my friend. That's the first place Braves you're talking about. They got off to a really, really hot start, and they kind of slowed down a little bit, but they're like 25 games over 500 right now. They did miss the playoffs last year, but they're very good this year and banged up.
Let's see. The Braves are in a worse division compared to the Yankees and are 3 games better. Can't say that's a loser. Come on now.
All right, just because we have the Nationals, we can't hold that against
us. The Mets are massive cheeks. The Nationals are cheeks. The Marlins are always cheeks. You just have the Phillies to compete with.
The Mets should be better. I don't know why they're not.
They're still cheeks. That's the Mets. You have the Phillies, and that's it.
Okay, but
they're getting screwed by the umpires because Bryce Harper's out here trying to fight Rob Manfred.
The Blue Jays went from like 1 out away from winning the World Series in Game 6 to how bad are they now?
Yeah, it crushed their soul.
The Red Sox decided that they don't want to be a good organization anymore.
Tampa is fantastic. They should be the real Moneyball story.
That's probably
they paid Wander Franco millions and millions of dollars not to play, and then he went and got arrested.
Oh, God.
By his own country and not even the United States.
If you had 24 minutes in to go deep dive this week before the over-under for a Wander Franco reference, congrats. If you had the over, you win.
Oh, man. We still have the Angel Liar graphic up as if we're still talking about that.
Before you take it down, I'll quickly answer Ung's question here. I think Bino's your left fielder, I believe. I think Wax is your center fielder. Bino's very big. He's I'm not gonna say he's athletic, but he's probably the least athletic of the 3 transfer portal outfielders. So I think he'll be in left field.
And there was potential talk of Bino playing first base if necessary.
Right. If there's any of them that would move to the infield for some reason like that, it would probably be Bino.
Yeah. All right. We have been talking about the MLB a lot. Let's get into the draft a little bit. We talk a lot about the recruiting class with Jason on the other side. We talk a little bit about some of the current guys. But before we get into the interview with Jason, which is pre-recorded, everybody, but it's really, really good information. I called Dave the Baseball Encyclopedia, the LSU Baseball Encyclopedia. Jason Armstrong might have taken over that title. I'm sorry. Sorry to tell you that.
No, he's like for sure. Like when it comes to recruiting and all that there's nobody that can touch that dude. I mean, we were joking about this earlier, me, you, and Paul in our group text. Jason like doesn't watch any other sport. Like he does not watch anything else. It's LSU baseball. That's why he can name his channel, his X account inside LSU baseball, because it's the only thing he covers. He said on his show last week that he don't know if he could name 5 players on LSU football team. And we said, like, it seems almost impossible to like not, but like he's just that all about LSU baseball, and he follows these guys. Like he's already talking like 2027 LSU baseball. He's like already breaking that down, like the recruiting class next year's recruiting class, and we haven't even had the draft yet. So yeah,
No.
there's no top of Jason for that.
So
I'll gladly give him that title and just have him come on the show and talk about it.
Yeah, 100%. Let's talk about some of the guys that we did mention in the interview. Derek Curiel. Has your mind changed about where Derek Curiel is going to go pick wise? I've seen. It feels like the entire process for Curiel, he's been here or here, and it's everywhere in between.
It seems like top 15. I've seen more than one mock draft where it's top 10 recently. So I'd probably guess like around the 9, 10, 11, 12 range. I mean, based on exactly which team it is. I don't know off the top of my head. 9's the Braves. I would love that. So maybe it's not going to be them because I haven't seen it mocked to them. But yeah, I mean, I haven't seen him outside the 15 within like the last like 2 weeks or so.
Yeah, and could you imagine the Braves pairing up Derek Curiel and Jake Brown in an outfield together? That'd be pretty interesting.
I can't imagine it. Well, I mean, I guess I could imagine it. That would be amazing.
It sure would be. Devin Sheeran, we talked about a little bit, could potentially end up being the number one reliever off the board from some of the things that we've heard. Do you have any ideal fits for Devin Sheeran, or do you think he go where do you think he kind of ends up around wise?
To be honest, I don't know round. I haven't seen like an exact round. I mean, it would be, if I had to guess, it'd be in the top 5 or 6 rounds. I mean, he's high level, and there's like still I think the thing too you got to remember with pitchers too, teams love not only youth, but they also love not like a ton of innings on an arm. He missed a whole year. Like he's had 3 years in college. One of them he didn't play. So that's a whole year of innings like not on his arm. And this year was probably, I'd have to check. I don't know how many innings he ended up throwing at Mount St. Mary's his freshman year, but I imagine this year was his career high. And it was as a reliever, so he's not overly taxed. And there's a lot of projectability in there to be able to even get better too. I mean, he did what he did this year with 2 pitches. He's throwing fastball slider, and when it's as good as it is, as good as his is, like you can get away with it. But now you move him up, and not to say that like in college a guy can't add an extra pitch, but when it's working like Sheeran's is working, you don't have to, like in his role. So you don't even try to mess with it. But now get him into a professional system, like teams. He's gonna go high. I might be even shooting low on as low as 6. It might be higher than that.
Random website I did just find while you were speaking has him going 145th overall, which sounds about right based on the math. Comment from Paul. I heard on Baseball America show last week they projected Sheeran being one of the top 3 reliever arms taken. Oh, see this.
I hope he's playing tricks.
I love that.
He does not fit the Yankees at all.
Why not?
I forget they allow facial hair now.
Yeah.
I don't know. He looks like he would. I'm not just gonna say the Braves. All right, let's think of a good team. We're talking like not X's and O's here either. We're just talking pure vibe fits. Who would he fit well with? Not the Dodgers. They're too buttoned up. The Braves are very Latino heavy, and like that's like in there. I mean, they got like Riley and Olsen now too. Rangers.
The Rangers.
I'm trying to think. There's got to be a perfect team out there that he would just fit in, just go in, just. I don't want to say
Toronto.
No.
The Mets.
Well, I'm not saying no to you. That's not who I'm. The Phillies, dude, that attitude that Philly plays, he would actually work out really well there. Really well. I don't want that to happen, to be clear. But
That'd be the ultimate karma. All the LSU guys just going to play for the Phillies. That'd be the ultimate karma.
I'll say this. If the Braves get Curriel or Jake Brown, I'm okay with Devin Sheeran going to the Phillies. I'll make that trade.
Shoot. I might have to buy a Braves hat if they get one of the two of them. I don't know. I've already got approval from multiple people to be a Braves fan if it comes down to it. So we'll see. But I don't know.
For sure. There's always room on the wagon.
Griffin Herring is actually doing pretty well from what I've read in the Yankees organization.
Is he still in the Yankees organization? I thought he got traded.
Yeah.
Is he? Okay.
If that happened, it happened recently.
Oh, yeah. Robbie just said it. He's with Colorado now. I thought so. I thought being bummed out.
Must have been in the in the trade for McMahon.
It was
Hartford Yard Goats. He is in the Rockies organization now.
Yeah.
I think there's somebody else, another pitcher in the Yankees organization from LSU. Is it Thatcher Hurd?
Yes.
Thatcher Hurd.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think he's doing well as well.
That's who I was thinking of. Thatcher Hurd is doing really, really well.
Yeah.
Is there a spot for him to get called up? I don't know. The Yankees are a horribly run organization, so.
And you want them to ruin somebody like Devin Sheeran.
Fair point. Anyway. Is there anybody else you want to go over before we get into the interview with Jason?
No, I guess we'll touch on, we'll follow up his interview and add in a few tidbits on, college guys. High school guys, but I'm trying to think. I don't think there's anybody really I'm thinking about from the from this team other than, we touched on Jake, we touched on Curriel, touched on Sheeran.
Some of the seniors that you could throw in there. I will shout out a few of those guys. They're all going to get drafted or at least sign post contracts. They just won't be as high because they obviously don't have the leverage. Trying to think if there's anybody. I don't think there's anybody else we're missing.
I'm curious to see where Stanley goes.
He's
been hitting the ball in the like prospects league or whatever he's playing.
That's what I was about to say. Stanfield has been dominating in that. I didn't even know that was a thing, first of all. But whatever that league is, like I see a post every other day, and he's like 4 for 4 doubles, and I'm like, go Stanny, dude! Like hell yeah.
That's what I shared it on X a couple of days ago. I was like, it's like people forgot, what a healthy Stanley can do. That's it right there. Like that shows how hurt he was.
Yeah, that's for sure. Gavin Guidry also somebody to look out for.
Still
has eligibility left. But we'll see. Don't know.
Yeah, he's been tearing it up. So hopefully for him.
All right. Let's get into the interview with Jason Armstrong. We will see y'all on the other side and do some cleanup from there. Alrighty, we are now joined by Jason Armstrong of Inside LSU Baseball. Thank you for joining us today. It is a long time coming and an absolute pleasure to have you on with us today. How are you feeling today?
I'm good, man. I'm always up to talk some LSU baseball, So, but I'm feeling good, Long weekend with the holiday, and I've enjoyed it, man. So what we got, like a less than a week, I think next weekend we have like the futures game and the draft. And so it's one of those deals where it's like a lot of keeping up with the play. It's like all of us as fans, we want to know like who's going to make it to school, like what's our team going to look like next year. And it's kind of like the last piece of the puzzle is finding out what happens with the draft. So I'm excited. We've been going at this pretty hard for a while now with baseball season. So I think I'll be a little happy once we get through the draft and maybe can relax a little bit. I don't know if I'll relax, but in theory, I might.
Well, that's the thing too, is with the way the season ended and no postseason, it's like this whole process, between the end of the season and the draft has, been expanded so much where it's like we're filling this time and we're, especially you diving even deeper into it, making stuff crazy about trying to figure out, is this one going to make it or not? Because we just had so much extra time to not analyze what's actually going on the field. So it's been a little bit different.
It has. And what's funny, man, is like even after the draft, like what's happening right now is, and I know this is crazy, but like this is just how it is. Like the class of 2027, that'll be here, not this coming year, but the next year. That's right around the corner. It happens fast. That class, the LSU's whole class is already. You got like 18 commits in the class, and this summer, like they're doing like the PG National Showcase in Miami. East Coast Pro, like all the area code games, that's all coming up in the next, month before like school starts. So, the cycle kind of continues. I just got excited because I was just thinking, then we'll have fall baseball coming up and not too long, man.
Yeah.
All right. I'm not bummed out anymore.
Oh, yeah. It's always right around the corner. That's the good thing about the way the schedule works. Let's get this one out of the way. One of the big talking points for both of our shows for a few weeks or even a few months at this point has been the potential of Jake Brown possibly – I guess at this point, not taking his name out of the draft, but potentially returning to LSU despite, the potential offers from the MLB and where he does get drafted. It seems like with the transfer portal and everything that LSU's kind of filling that spot, thinking he won't come back. Mm-hmm. But I think, from things that both of us have heard and kind of divulged from our own research and things like that, is that there is a chance he comes back. Where do you kind of sit with him? With Jake Brown at this exact moment?
Yeah, it's funny because with all of these guys, anytime you're dealing with the draft, there's a difference between July Jason and like, June Jason, because things change and you might hear something a week and a half ago that totally like sways what you think. And so it's very difficult because when you talk about this all the time, it's like, well, you said it was like things change, but like as of right now, I don't think Jake Brown's coming back. And really where that comes from is I think it was like last week, not this, whenever the combine was, okay? At that point, my thought process was, if you're somebody that wants to see Jake Brown back at LSU, you need to be like, if he falls out of the first two rounds, like in the pick, like 76, 77, 78, then you should perk up. Because you know how it is. Like if they call his name, regardless, he's gone.
Right. But
like, if you don't hear his name in the first 75 picks, that is like, okay, maybe like, I don't know what's going on, but like, because the last anybody knew, he missed a lot of time. And look, we all love Jake Brown. He's a very good athlete, but he struggled in SEC play. He had the injury. He really struggled against breaking balls. And so that's kind of his last impression is as many home runs as he hit and all of that. Well, then he went to the combine. And I heard this from two different people who were there that said, look, he had one of the best showings at the combine, and he couldn't like take BP or anything, but dude, they said he was like one of the fastest runners there. Like he blew everybody away. His interviews went great. And so right then it was like, oh, well, usually the combine doesn't like it's not like, well, you're on the fence now, you're definitely going to get drafted. it's not just like, it's more about the interviews, and perfect for somebody like him or Logan Reddeman or, Carson Wiggins, any of these guys who've maybe been hurt and you haven't seen him, they want to get a last impression of him. He did really, really well. And so like at that point I was like, okay, now I'm seeing people mention him in like pick 39, like 2 weeks before that, Baseball America was doing their mock, the first 2 rounds, like first 75 picks, Jake Brown wasn't in it. And so it's like you keep seeing these things and you're like, all right, that's odd. So, but like right now, no, I don't think he's going to be back. I could be totally wrong. I don't know that I've ever felt extremely confident other than that if he falls out of the first 2 rounds, then you got a shot. I understand that you can. Briggs McKenzie last year got $3 million in the 4th round, but he's also a left-handed pitcher, right? Or like shortstops get money like that. So that would be the thing I would say. But no, I don't. Well, and then let me add, and then you go out and you just get Angel Eye. So now it's like, well, why would you do that? If I think what happened is, believe me, if I heard what happened at the combine, I guarantee you, I know Jay Johnson did, and whoever's representing Jake Brown. And so I think that kind of gave them a pretty good idea that, look, we're going to offer him this. So I think he's most likely going to be gone, but who knows,
The MLB draft is crazy. It's crazy.
I just don't know, like, if he comes back, like, I don't know what you do. Like, what outfielder, like all these outfielders are like starters.
Right.
So I don't know, but no, I don't think he's coming back as of right now. Not that that's some
breaking news or anything.
Like genius revelation. I'm just like looking at what's happening, but
completely agree.
Yeah, we had kind of started to once we started hearing about the Alec Blair, possibilities that that's who LSU was in on, and I was like, I think that kind of tells you the story. And then, like you mentioned with the combine and all, and then the Laya thing, I was like, that to me seems like that seals it. Like that's it right there. Yeah. I think one little thing, I don't know how much importance this has on it, but like, I mean, this can go for almost every high school player that was good come into college, but there's a lot of familiarity with teams and Jake Brown too. I mean, he got drafted before. Obviously, he was a pitcher, is a different position, but like there's the personality wise, at least, there's a lot that these teams know about a guy like that, and then it just reaffirms when he goes back to the combine. But what I told Zach, I told when we were talking with you, you are like the expert when it comes to these classes. I mean, I know you work on it year round. Like I'm not even joking. Like for those that don't follow Jason, you need to go follow him. He's on this stuff constantly talking about, like, you give updates like throughout the season when everyone's focused on like LSU baseball, Jason's doing both. So we just kind of wanted to let you just kind of run through, for the most people that cover this they're going to get drafted guys, the 50-50 guys, and then they're going to get to campus guys. So, I mean, I kind of just wanted to open up the floor to you and let you kind of run through, some of your guys, and you don't have to go deep into anybody, just to get through it. But, if you want to start with some guys, that you don't expect to make it to campus, we could start there.
Yeah. I mean, I would say, like, if you have hopes of, the guys that I would say I wouldn't be holding your breath, that I'll start with these outfielders, because again, you got Nate Davis, you've already brought in Bino Waters, Jason Wax, then you get Angel Eye. I mean, so like, I don't think Malachi Washington, who's, like ranked number 27 by perfect game. Right. His average draft spot is like pick 118, so like the 4th round. But again, I don't think Malachi Washington's coming. I don't think Anthony Murphy, who's another one who's like number 36 by in the whole class by perfect game. He's another one that's right there in that 4th round projection. I don't think either of those guys are going to come. The other guy's listed as an outfielder. He's not really an outfielder. He's just a specimen, and that's Dominic Santarelli. he looks like something different, man. He's huge. Out of Wisconsin, he's just I don't see Dominic Santarelli coming. And then I'd say the fourth one that I put in that bucket is Lucas Naraki, who was listed. A lot of people knew him as a pitcher. He's the number one lefty out of Texas. He's got like the best slider in the entire class, like over 3,000 RPMs. But he's not real big. He's like 6 foot or 5'11". But he can also hit really well. And so it's one of those deals where so he's starting to pull ahead as a hitter more than he is a pitcher. So, that's the other one. I'll tell you what's very odd. All of those guys that I just named, not one of them, if you take like MLB Pipeline, Baseball America, Overslot, like those are the three I really look at a lot and average them together. They're all like fourth rounders. They're like, These are guys fourth round. We're talking about 600,000, $800,000. So these aren't like, that's not 800. That was Will Adams. So yeah, you're talking about like under 700,000. Right. Those are not typically the type of players that you think are long gone. That's what's so funny about it. So, could they get paid more than that? Go higher? Absolutely. But it's just so funny that they've made it all the way up until the week before the draft, and you're still seeing them kind of hold true in that fourth round kind of area. Another one I'll point out is Will Adams. He's out of Hoover, Alabama. He's like a first baseman, outfielder. Typically first basemen don't get drafted high, but he's really good, man. He's up there like by perfect game standards. He's like 100. He's nowhere near as high as the other ones. But when you look at what again, MLB Pipeline, he's one of the highest out of them. So he's looking like a third rounder, something like that. But those are, I'd say those five, I'm not very I'm not very confident. A little bit because, two of them are outfielders. I think we're pretty good in outfield wise. And the other ones are just, they've really helped themselves over the last month or so. And so even if you're seeing mock drafts and they're looking like they're in the range to come to school, I don't feel really good about those five right there at all.
Yeah, it becomes a numbers game too. Like you're saying, like maybe you could convince, one of those outfielders to come, but then like you said, when this is kind of what just happened with CJ Weinstein. We just found out today that he, committed to UCLA, and, it seems like because you had guys come back, you bring in a Cade Curlin, a Dawson Park, and now all of a sudden it's like a 2-year guy, was worried about playing time, and you can get into deep about competitiveness and all that, but at the same time, they want to know that if they're going to skip the draft, they're going to play. Yeah,
absolutely. Because CJ Weinstein is, he's good. Like he's really good. Now, at the pro level, he's not a shortstop, but like he could play shortstop in college. But he's good. Like he's still a draft risk. I wouldn't be shocked if he went in the third round. But like that's a deal where he's going to go to college for 2 years. Does he want to go to college to LSU? And I mean, who's he going to play in front of? Does he win out like at second base over whoever? Take your pick. Park, Curlin, Ruckert. Like, I don't know. I mean, but like, if your goal is, hey, I'm not quite ready to go pro, I need to go play for 2 years and get reps. I don't blame him. I don't blame him. They all have to compete, but like CJ Weinstein didn't know about all these guys we were going to bring in when he was recruited. Right. I mean, that happened late, so right. I don't fault him for that. But so yeah, but like you were saying, man, it's just kind of like what is your goal? Do you want to go to LSU and maybe try to win out some playing time? Because like you still got William Patrick in that mix. You still got Nate Davis in that mix. You got 5 legitimate guys that can play in the outfield. So, yeah, that's you never know what they're thinking.
Yeah, right.
Nah, you're absolutely correct with that. I mean, it's like, and I think part of the thing was Milo coming back for Weinstein kind of threw a wrench into things too, because that pushed him another spot down on the infield depth chart. So, like, I mean, I'm looking at it. Not all of these guys are going to come in to play shortstop at LSU, but you got Parker Leao, Jordan Martinez, and Luke Tucker, who are also all committed as quote unquote shortstops, but they'll play anywhere from second to third to short. So like Weinstein switching to UCLA is not a massive surprise, like you said.
No, I found that out when the combine started. I was told he decommitted. And I talked to him, man, like, and look, it's funny in this day and age, he said, look, man, you never know. Next year I could be back, which is crazy. True. But it's like UCLA just lost a lot, dude. He's from, he just played last year at Orange Lutheran. He's, that's where he's living, like, and he can go in there, and guess what else he doesn't have to do? He doesn't have to face SEC pitching. So, that's a plus. He can go and have 2 really good years, and maybe he's not happy going in the 4th round, if that's what he's hearing, and get up there. A left-handed hitting shortstop that's got 2 years of track record at UCLA. Dude, that could be a top 50 pick. So
easily.
I don't blame him.
Not at all.
As far as the guys that we don't expect to make it, as far as the pitchers, I mean, I'd say Jensen Hirschhorn is one that for sure we think is not making it. It had been Logan Schmidt was kind of on that list for a while, and now it seems like that's kind of changed. Not necessarily changed, but I guess the possibilities have opened up a little bit. I've heard you talk about it. We had Koki on last week that he kind of talked about it. I mean, what's the situation with Schmidt to where it seems like it's actually on the table now?
Yeah, I don't know what anybody else has said, but like I heard this day one of the combine that he fired his agent. Okay, he fired his representation. Basically what you have a kid who never in a million years thought he could even potentially wind up in college. All right. That was just always like a fallback plan. He wants to go in the 1st round. He wants to go in like the top 10 picks. Okay. He fired his agent. His mom's kind of running the deal, and they're calling teams wanting $5 million. And like, he's not going to get $5 million. Okay. Right. And what I told somebody, man, is like, he's a kid that's young, like homeschool type of deal. He interviewed really badly at the combine. Like it was like eye opening. Okay. Mm-hmm. And so when you are going to invest that much money on a 17-year-old, like, everything needs to give you confidence. And and it didn't. And so it's like, I heard that, and sometimes people tell me things and I can hint at them, but I can't say who told me. And then like 2 days later, Baseball America comes out with a story about the volatility, and they got him going like in the 50s. Like he was like in the 20s months ago. And I was like, wow. And then I think even like Keith Law had him maybe in like the mid 60s to 70s or something. I mean, and so will maybe one team say, hey, I'll give the kid $3.5 million, and will he take it? Maybe. But, like where he's projected right now, you're talking like, well, here, I'll tell you right now, I've got his average slot is, and I'm not including all of them because Baseball America, I don't think they adjusted theirs. I might not. This still has them at 21. He's not there. He's kind of like in that like $2 million range, 1.8. That's not what he wants, man.
Less than half of what he wants. Yeah.
Yeah, and like so he's really good, really talented, and like could be really, really good. Anyway, that's if you look at Cam Caminetti, and then you look at Boston Bateman, they got 3.5 million, 2.5 million. That's what they got. Okay. he's probably more close to that, not 5 million. Now you mentioned Jensen Hirschkorn. What's very interesting about Jensen Hirschkorn is I think it was like Overslot just had him at pick 71, MLB
Really?
Pipeline pick 56. He is in the second round, and he's like moving towards the closer, like the bottom of the second round.
Yeah.
And it's one of those deals, like you're talking like 1.6 million, $2 million. This is a kid that's 6'7", that is a basketball star. He had a back injury, and he was throwing 95 his junior year. He was only throwing like 93 his senior year. So, like, he didn't make the next jump. He's probably going to throw 100 miles per hour at some time. So does that kid go in the bottom of the second round and take 2 million? Or does he say, dude, I can be a top 30 pick in 3 years, develop more, I put all my attention in baseball, and make a lot of money? And what's interesting about the right-handers, they just don't go typically in the first round, like right-handed pitchers. It's not like a lefty. So I would tell you, like 3 months ago, no shot at Hirschkorn, no shot at Logan Schmidt. Now it's like you probably still won't get either of them, but like we're at least talking about it. You know?
Right.
One of the things that
you're saying there's a chance.
Yeah. Well, one of the things that Dave and I have talked about, and we've kind of talked about this with Paul a little bit too, is the uncertainty with the whole MLB and the MLBPA and the potential CBA lockout, whatever terms from this whole thing you want to throw out there. Do you think that's kind of affecting some of these guys' draft stock? Because they may be like, okay, well, maybe they're going in these interviews and asking, okay, well, what's the status of like the potential lockout and everything like that? And then teams are like, well, he's scared off by this. Maybe we'll drop him down the board a little bit. Because that's been my theory with some of these guys, is that like some of them are starting to look at the CBA and the lockout and then the 5 for 5 and everything and be like, maybe college is a decent option right now.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if that's, impacting kids to go to sign now, because this might be the last chance, they get to sign for a few years, or if they come to school. Like, I don't really know how that impacts them as far as like these guys that are right there on the cusp of either going high enough to go pro or going to college. Certainly the 5 for 5 has a lot of, there's a lot to it for certain players. I don't know how much these type of players it impacts right now, but certainly there's a lot of uncertainty. I remember Joe Doyle was telling me back in November, dude, when like I would post that LSU just got like a commitment from like Jacob Seaton. He's an unbelievable outfielder from North Carolina. He's in the 2027 class. So like he won't play until 2028. Okay. And I remember I'd like post that and you'd be like, never getting to school. Or Samir Muhammad. He plays at Tampa Jesuit. Dude, he's like throwing 99 and his best pitch is a changeup. Huge kid. Okay. Samir Muhammad. He's got 2 different names. Anyway, I post about him. Now he'd never get there. And Joe was like, dude, these 2027 kids, not this year, but like the next one, that's when you could see a lot change and where a lot of these kids could get to campus. So anyway, all that's going to be really fun and really interesting. But I don't know how much that changes a kid that this year, like we just talked about, whether he jumps in the draft or comes to college. I'm really not sure.
That makes sense. So if we're talking about it right now, we're talking about the possibility, even though, you talk to some folks, it almost seems like a lockout strike, like it's going to happen, but we're still talking about the possibility of it happening, so they're making this life-changing decision based on what may happen, where next year, you'll be in the middle of it. Let's move on to some of the guys that you think could make it to campus. I don't have I'm going to keep saying this. you just had your video come out. What was that? Was it yesterday with Joe, or it was within the last few days with
Yeah,
Joe
last
Doyle?
couple of days, I think.
So like, if y'all want to hear the entire Jason's entire breakdown with Joe, go like watch that video. We'll link it, with this show. But of the 50-50 guys that that could make it to campus, I wanted to get your opinion on who do you see if you had to pick like one or two guys that you could see having an immediate impact. I know it's hard to say because like we knew Derek Curriell was going to be good because of his status and how highly ranked he was when he came. Same for Omar Cerna. So it may not be as easy of a choice this year, but if you do see a couple guys that stand out as far as those 50-50 guys, who would you say?
Yeah, I mean, out of the immediate impact, I would probably say the one. Okay, I'll give you two. One of them's a real draft risk. The other one's not. Okay.
Okay.
So the last couple of years, LSU's done a really good job getting a high-profile right-handed pitcher to campus. Okay, and you're talking like William Schmidt in 2024, and he was really high-profile. Mm-hmm. Last year was Marco Paz. He was in that like pick 102 range, like third roundish or whatever. The guy right now that in this class that's kind of in that zone to me is Cooper Sides. And Cooper Sides is out of California. Cooper Sides is really good, man. Cooper Sides is at Orange Lutheran, which is where C.J. Weinstein played, which was where Derek Curriell played. Just really, really good program. And the thing about Cooper Sides is he's 6'5", 210, and you usually hear like pitch ability about guys who are maybe undersized, don't throw really hard, have really good, can pitch backwards. But like this guy throws 94, 95, and he can throw multiple pitches for strikes. He's still got projection left. He's really good. Like he's really good. I'll put it to you like this. And to give you an idea why I think that, he's another one. MLB Pipeline's got him pick 100. Baseball America pick 127, Oversight 114. That's a fourth round grade.
Right.
Okay. I mean, 100 is a third round grade, but like you're talking about an average of a fourth round grade. So this isn't a guy that you're going, man, we're going to get this guy. He's probably, he could potentially go in the first round. No. And he's a right-handed pitcher. And so this is somebody that if he makes it to campus and he comes and I had somebody, who's from California. They work with agents or they're an agent. I don't remember. They sent me a message. They were like, look, I think this guy might get to campus. I was like, all right, great. But anyway, he would step on campus more polished than William Schmidt or Marcos Paz. All right. So like, I like him a lot. I think that we have a good shot at him. The one that, this guy's going to make it to campus, but I think he's going to make an immediate impact. And this is the guy, Braden Cupid. He's a left-handed pitcher out of West Monroe. He's 6'1", 205. He's built really like solid, like below the waist. He is very fiery, like really feisty on the mound, but he's got a lot of years of track record at West Monroe. Kind of got like a 3/4 arm angles, very difficult to pick the ball up, can throw 2 breaking balls for strikes. I think he can pitch right away, like relief. I like him a lot. And there really are a lot of these other pitchers that I think are kind of in that same realm, but I like him a lot because he's left-handed. And I'm very familiar with him more so than some of the other big name guys. But that would be the two. But like Cooper Sides, I think is one that could go either way. And if he gets to campus, he could really help us.
I'm glad you brought up a couple of pitchers because that could kind of be the answer is this whole portal cycle is going on. What we've been hearing from the fan base is where's the pitching? Where's the pitching? Where's the pitching? Well, I know a large part of it is what they are returning, in the hope of everyone elevating, their game from last year. Well, maybe this is part of it too, that they trust what's coming in.
Yeah, because you're going to get a lot of them, man. I mean, I don't care if it's Colton Brady, He's a big right-hander out of TNXL Academy. His teammate, as a matter of fact, is out of Florida. His teammate is Spencer Evans. He's a lefty that is like really good and like first-round talent, but he doesn't throw enough strikes, so he's seen more as like a reliever at the next level. But like it wouldn't shock me if he got snatched up, but he's not a guy being projected that you would think is going to get drafted. He's one that might be like a surprise, like, hey, I didn't see that one coming. You know, kind of like he's not as high as River Hamilton was last year, but close to it, you know, but just not somebody you probably expect to get drafted, but wouldn't be surprised me if he did. But yeah, you've got a lot of them that these are really, really good pitchers. These aren't like – even the ones that I have shaded in green, like they're going to get to campus, like Braxton Beatty. That dude is good. That dude is really good. He's going to potentially be able to help us. You know, this class is just so good, and it started with 24. You're down to 22, and you're going to get a lot of guys to school. And you know, these aren't like your typical, he'll be here for a year and transfer. Like there's a lot of talent coming in. So I'm really excited about it. I think even like a worst case scenario, you're going to get plenty of players to campus at positions of need.
That's huge.
That you will. I think we got time for one more. The two that we know are coming back. Are not coming back, but for sure not doing the draft and everything like that, like you talked about, is Braxton Beatty. The other being Nate Davis. What can you really tell us about them so far from what you've seen and what you've studied on?
Yeah, Nate Davis, man, for a time was the. You know, so like there's different ways of these rankings go. Like there's the perfect game. People hear him go like, hey, for example, like, you know, Kate Arambidi was the number 2 catcher coming out of high school. You know, that's perfect game, right? Then if you hear like he was the highest ranked lefty to ever, like Cam Johnson, they're talking about like MLB pipeline. So you've got different ways that these guys get ranked, okay? MLB pipeline is more talking about the draft, whereas I'll give you an example. Mason Braun was never really going to get drafted last year, and I want to say he was like number 60 in perfect games, you know, top 100. He was high. So anyway, but like Nate Davis, it was like at a time our highest rated high school player by perfect game as a position player. I mean, he's the number 32 player in the nation. And even if you're not big on perfect game, you can go back every year, and it's like every one of their top 10 players goes in the first round. They just always do, okay? Except for the year that William Schmidt made it to campus, and I think Curiel was 11 and Aaron Beatty was 12. But like usually they're on to something. Nate Davis is really good, okay? He's ahead of Derek Curiel as a defender, faster. He's got a stronger arm. He's not what Derek Curiel was as a hitter. I mean, Derek Curiel was always an elite hitter. There's ever any holes in Derek Curiel's game. Nate Davis probably has a little bit more power. Somebody told me this, that think more Jake Brown offensive profile than Derek Curiel. Maybe not the power, but just like more pop. You know, might be aggressive at times, swing and miss, but he's really good, like really, really, really good. And so that's a big deal, because he was still that's another one that was looking at this thing going, hey, they got Bino Waters, they got Jason Wax, William Patrick's coming back. This isn't he's going to have to go compete, but he's really good. And so I would be lying if I tried to tell you that I knew what the starting lineup is going to be next year, especially in the outfield. But like Nate Davis is good, and Nate Davis might not start. But I still think that, depending on Well, if you're a right-handed hitter, because I think they're all left-handed, right? They're all left-handed except for William Patrick in the outfield, correct?
Yeah, they are. Yep.
So, but you never know. Fall's going to be awesome, man, to get to really see who surges ahead. But yeah, Nate Davis, that's a big time athlete that's going to be around for a few years. So you always like to get those types of players in.
Love that.
Yep.
Well,
Incredible.
You got to run.
I'll give you somebody else who I love, man. Okay.
Please.
And I don't think this guy's going to get drafted, but he is. I want to say, dude, I give him an extra inch every time I say his name, but I think he's 6'3" or 6'4". Okay. His name's Luke Tucker. Now he's legitimately 6'4", 210. I don't know how you pronounce it, if it's Krum or Krum, Texas. It's Krum. Okay. But like this dude, again, if you want to talk perfect game, he's like number 288. Okay. At one time, he was an Arkansas State commit. And then last summer, he went nuts. He got on the radar of like Josh Jordan, some other teams, and he committed to LSU. He's huge. He can hit the heck out the ball. He's more of like a third baseman, but I'm not talking like Jacob Berry third baseman. Like he can actually move. He's pretty, like he can move for a big guy. But I'm really excited about him. That's one of those guys where maybe, he's got, shortstop next to his name right now, but you look up and he's like DHing against a right-handed pitcher because he can hit so well, but like there's so many, man, that in this class that I really do like. And look, they might not all play next year, but I think it's a much more balanced class. The guys that get to school can still play. They're not just guys that didn't get drafted and are going to wind up transferring out. And so it's exciting, man. Like this. I told somebody, Jay's either really confident in our pitching or really worried because we're going to hit, dude. And I know we said that last year, but like there's a difference in going, well, this guy out of high school was a big prospect and he was okay his freshman year and he got hurt, but then he hit 8 home runs in the regionals. And this guy hit 20 home runs at a mid-major. And, like we're talking about guys. Angel Laya is like the number 11 college prospect for the 2028 draft.
That's crazy.
Bino Waters, he's way up there, in like 23 or something. Like these guys are all pro prospects that can really hit. And the best news is they're also like well-rounded, like good defenders. So I'm excited, man. I'm really, but I say it and I'll say it again, and I'll be saying it when we go into next year. I think next year's team will live and die by what Kason Evans and William Schmidt do. If those two dudes make a jump, sky's the limit.
Right.
Look, if they don't, maybe, who knows? Maybe somebody else steps up. You never know. Okay. But I think those are the two most important guys going into next year because like if they're good, like if you tell me, dude, they had good years, I don't know how we're not in Omaha.
Right.
I don't.
I agree. Well, thank you very much, for making some time for us. As everyone knows, we doing this pre-recorded. This is Sunday. We'll probably say this during the episode on Wednesday, but we appreciate you. We'll probably get you back or try to get you back if we can find some time after the draft at some point to talk about who did make it, and all that. But real quick before you go, I shout you out every single episode. It feels like every time we talk about baseball because I'm such a fan of what you put out there. But tell everyone where they can find everything inside LSU baseball.
I'm not real good at this part, okay? Because I tell people, man, like I would talk about this like when it was just my mom and my son listening to me, okay? But like everything's been through Twitter. It's Inside LSU Baseball on Twitter. I started getting more intentional about putting everything on YouTube, because for a while I was just getting on Spotify and Apple. But I put all the videos now, all the episodes are going to be on Spotify, Apple, as well as YouTube, as well as started doing a couple of lives. So you can find that on YouTube. But that's what I'm not anywhere else right now. I don't think I'm going to be anywhere else. But yeah, you can find what I'm, for more of the daily stuff I'm posting on Twitter.
Awesome. Thank you so much. This was really, really fun. We'll have to do this again sometime.
All right, guys. I appreciate y'all, man. Y'all have a good one, okay?
We appreciate you.
Buddy.
Have a good one.
All right. Take care.
Later, man.
And we're back.
Jason Armstrong, ladies and gentlemen.
The new title holder of the LSU Baseball Encyclopedia title. I said title twice in there.
I didn't even notice. The amount of information that he squeezed into that 40 minutes is just unreal. Like, unreal. We knew, and that was the plan, like that it was going to be a lot of us just sit back and listen. It was more of just like a Jason preach interview rather than like conversation. Set him up a little bit, but that's what I wanted. I told him, I just want to let you do you, man. Like you got the ball, like do your work. And he's awesome. Yeah, I don't know where you want to start to touch on like some of the notes that he said, but I enjoyed listening back to that, like even more so than I did actually doing the conversation.
Yeah, second time helped me actually like retain it rather than just like having a conversation, which is interesting. Probably says something about I don't know. This is some kind of disability I have.
No, I'm with you. Like I'm like overthinking. Like I do that. Like it seems like every time we interview somebody, I'm like, especially because like how we alternate questions. Yeah. Like when they're answering a question that you asked, like I'm looking at the next one and trying to like prepare it and think about how to say it in my mind. So I'm like almost missing what they're saying, and sometimes I get this awkward, like where this transition where like I got better with it, but like the first one or two, I just be like, yeah, man, that's great. So like, I didn't even, it's not even like I was paying attention to what he was saying, but yeah.
I think best spot to start on the cleanup is some of the pitchers. Talked a little bit about Schmidt, the other Schmidt. And we're gonna have to start referring.
Yeah,
we're gonna have to call him L Schmidt and W Schmidt.
That's a good problem. Oh my God, there's a meme in there somewhere. W Schmidt and L Schmidt.
That's pretty bad. Yeah. I think let's start with some of the pitchers because there was a lot of interesting information. The pitchers is kind of where the fan base has been talking about why have we not picked up that many in the portal. So let's start there.
Yeah, so Robbie had thrown this up right at towards the end of the interview. It was perfect timing. Jason touched on him, and he was one of the guys that they said like they got him ranked as like where he ranks, he'd fall out in like the 4th round. And it's like, so do you want to go take, let's say they pay over slot for a guy like Cooper Sides in the 4th round, and give him $1.5 million or something like that. I don't know exactly how much more that would be for slot, but I know you get out of the 1 millions at like the end of the 2nd round or in the early 3rd round or something like that. So is that what you want? It all comes down to how bad do they actually want to, like, how do they feel about playing college baseball, like, and going to school and that obviously they're not coming and studying to be an engineer unless you're Seth Ardar, but you just come in just to take some classes and get through it and compete. But would you rather go take $1 million in the 4th round or do like what Robbie said and play 3 years at LSU and become like a top half of the 1st round, or Cade Anderson, who just made, Paul Skeens, who are making $8 million or more? I know that's obviously the very top end, but it's on the table. Like that's what you can get. So, Jason, he mentioned like Sides is actually a little bit more on the table than we thought a couple weeks ago. And same goes for Schmidt. We've heard that from multiple places. Koki told us about that last week. Jason told us about this tonight, or Sunday. And even with Hirschkorn, yeah, you don't know. Like we don't know what these guys' numbers are. You know, and you hear about draftability with baseball players because it's like, and that means personality, health, and their number and what they're requesting. Well, who's to say a guy like Hirschhorn isn't requesting $5 million signing bonus or something like that, and teams are gonna like no, like you're towards the back end of the first round, which puts you like closer to like 2 or 3. Well, do you want to take half of what you're asking for just to get drafted the first round, or like I said, do you just go to school for a couple of years, dominate, trust yourself, and become a top half of the first rounder, and get that money that you wanted today?
Especially when in a few years' time, it'll only be college guys in the draft.
That's a big one. That's a big one. Yeah. Yep.
I think that's the thing that a lot of people are missing is like, if they shift to this model where high school players will no longer be draftable, then man, like that's going to open up a lot of money for a lot of guys who choose to go the college route in that gap year. Because, I mean, the draft is going to be more shallow for a couple of years because you're going to have a little bit of a gap between.
Right. Yeah.
But it opens up a lot of opportunity for you to go higher than get drafted higher than what you may be at this point.
It does. I mean, and look at salary caps in the NFL and like draft numbers and like these slot values, like it keeps going up and up. So like being like, I don't know, say pick 20 this year, whatever the slot value is for pick 20 this year, pick 20 in 3 years is probably going to be $1 million more than that, or more, like it's going to go up, you know? So, and I mean, obviously the X factor nowadays too, is you can go make, obviously not, you know, super competitive with what you'd make, you know, even in the top couple rounds this year, but NIL, like it's not like you're going to school and saying like, oh, I'm going to pass on making any money. You can go make money now. Like, it's worth your time now. It's easy for us to say, obviously, but I said this in the chat to Unk though. You know, a month ago, it didn't look like there was any chance that Schmidt, Sides, or Hirschhorn made it to campus. I'd honestly be shocked if not at least one of them doesn't make it at this point. You know, and Jason even said in the interview, like, yeah, may not end up getting either one. You know, but of the 3 of them, like I'd be very, very, very surprised based on what we've heard.
What if you get all 3? And here's the thing, I don't think that's out of the realm of possibility at this point.
Welcome to your 2028 weekend rotation right there, those 3. Like Casey Evans moves on to pro baseball, William Schmidt moves on to pro baseball, Marcos Paz decided to go somewhere else. There you go, right there. I'm sure Landon Hood would have something to say about that, but sure.
I don't think that's out of the realm of possibility.
No, it's not.
I think it's extremely possible based on just chatter and stuff, man.
Yeah, it is. It is. I mean, it very much is possible. I'd say like the one. There's more than just LSU's 3 pitchers like in this draft. Obviously, like all the schools have first round talent, second round talent as far as in their recruiting class. But I'd wonder like if Hirschhorn and Sides are stuck on like saying we're not, you know, they're going to go, well, then the team may be like, I guess that's not a good comparison because then you talk about 2 right-handers versus a left-hander. But say just Hirschhorn and Sides, like say like a team likes both of them. And like Hirschhorn decides like he's doing whatever, then they're just like, okay, well, we'll just go throw the money we offered to Hirschhorn to Sides, you know. So it depends on everything, but that would be awesome though. That would be awesome.
I mean, you would be stacked for 2027, 2028, 2029. 2029 would be 3 for a lot of those guys, and that's just pitching.
Right. Yep.
It's just pitching, and it's not counting whatever happens in the portal. But man, that's scary hours. We may actually be better on an even number year at some point.
Oh yeah. That's Jay said, you know what? Enough of this crap. Let's go for even numbers too.
We're gonna go for all of them.
Let's get greedy.
Any of the fielders you wanted to talk about?
Let's see. I'm gonna pull up the list here. Quickly, I know he's not a fielder, but he mentioned Braden Cupid when we asked about two guys that he think could make an immediate impact. He did say Cupid was one that he said that is still a draft risk. We'll see, but a little teaser on that. We're working on a Braden Cupid interview for you guys. Kind of noticed something in that text message about what he's got going on. That to where once he finds time, did you catch that? I'll text you on the side. I don't know if I can say
to
it.
Look now.
The way, like, as we wait, why he needs to get back with Silent Partner about schedule. I think that was Ethan, about when to schedule it, what he has going on right now, and why he's a little bit busy. But anyway, Braden Cupid is one. I'm gonna type it after I finish talking. I'm gonna type it in the private chat. But
I see what you're talking about.
Okay, I mean, like, where? Like, where's he doing that? Anyway, yeah, we're working on that. But as far as position players, the one I want to see is Santorelli. I know Jason said he thinks he's probably gone, but then, like, Koki thought like there's a 50-50 or so chance last week. Koki said some of the people he talked to thought that he could make it to campus. I mean, if there's one that I'm just excited about, like, it's him. Like I said, I haven't heard many people feel great about Malachi Washington making it. I'm scrolling through to one that's intriguing. I know this is back to pitchers. I know you asked about position players. Colby Stringer is just so intriguing. He was a late add to this class because he got really, really good his senior year and, like, was uncommitted to anywhere. He's out of Mississippi. He adds to LSU, and, like, he didn't play on. This is a guy that if we had more time with Jason, I would ask him about. But, like, not a whole lot of people know anything about him because of, like, his late ascension. He didn't play, in these showcase games or with these or whatever. So he hasn't been out there, and all of a sudden, it's very similar to William Schmidt. Schmidt, like, the reason why it ended up being such a tough decision for Schmidt is because he had always had his heart set on LSU, and then his senior year he hits, like, this spurt and he's throwing 100 all of a sudden, and now it's like MLB teams want him, and they actually had to, like, he had to make them, or he had to say no. They had to make him say no. I think that's kind of the same thing with Stringer. I don't know that it's a foregone conclusion that he makes it. He could get drafted because he's rising up the boards quickly. As far as position, the other two that I'm excited about would be Luke Tucker, who's one of the ones that Jason mentioned, and then Dylan Minity. That's another one. It's a first baseman. With how deep you seem to be on the infield, I don't know how much guys like that will play in their first year, but nonetheless, I thought the most important takeaway, and this is something I caught re-listening to the interview, was that Jason made the point compared to last year. He said that the guys that make it to campus this year, like, aren't just making it to campus and then not play much and then transfer out. The guys that are making it to campus this year are dudes that just didn't get drafted because of a numbers thing, and, like, they can actually play. Like, it's quality and quantity this year.
It'll definitely be really interesting. I mean, it's setting up to be, if everything falls LSU's way, an extremely deep roster. That'll make next season very, very, very fun. Very fun.
Yeah.
Anything else before we move on to Matt Tigermore?
Nope, that's it. Draft is the 11th and 12th. That is, what day is that? Is that Sunday?
Saturday and Sunday.
Saturday and Sunday. So it's this weekend. So we'll when we see y'all next week, they got like 30 days or some deadline to sign the contract. But we know, like, if a guy gets drafted in the top 10 rounds, like, he's typically gone. Like, there's instances where things fall through But we'll have a pretty good idea next week to talk about who made it or who will make it.
Wonderful. Yeah, it'll certainly be an interesting weekend. All right, Mount Tiger Moor. Let me share the screen. Today's Mount Tiger Moor is going to be the Mount Tiger Moor of sports video games. It's a great segue into our final topic of the night. We'll get to that. David, you have I just called you David. Gross. You have the first pick today.
All right. So how are we doing? We had discussion on this. Do you want to do
years? I was going to leave that up to you with your first pick.
We can say years because as I was writing my list, there was no more than 2 years of one game for me that I wrote down. So I don't think it's a big deal, and everyone seemed to like that even more. Man, this is a tough 1-1. This is so subjective, but you know what? I'm gonna go baseline. I'm gonna go NCAA football 25. It brought it back, and that was just a revelation for everyone. If you look and compare, like it may not, stack up and be the best, bar for bar, pound for pound, but the fact that brought us college football back, and it had guys in their 30s like us, pouring hours. Okay, shut up. Pouring hours into this game again, and I remember everyone saying, I don't know why everyone's so excited about getting it back. They're not gonna be able to play it like they used to. I beg to differ, sir. I'll put a lot of hours into college football 25. And not having to go and download a roster that someone else made with names is so nice. But
seriously.
Yeah, man. I mean, it brought it back. It's if we were just doing greatest sports games of all time, for me, NCAA football would be number one. So bringing it back to us, I think is important.
Yeah, I had that as my 1-1 too. I lumped in the original series with the reboot series, I guess you could call it. Yeah, I mean, I guess I don't know. And we're only going to pick one game per franchise. So I'm not going to go NCAA 14. I'm going to go Madden 07 for my pick. That was my favorite Madden growing up. And it feels like after that is really when Madden started to change for the worse. Obviously, you had online and stuff get added all after that, and that's great. But the customization that you had with Madden 07, you could still create teams and play with teams freely outside of franchise mode. You could create players randomly. I'm pretty sure that was still when you could create random fans with random signs that you can type on and things like that. AP's throwing out a suggestion as well. That may end up making the board at some point. I did have that one on my list, but I'm not going to pick that one. My second pick, I'm going to go MVP Baseball 2005.
Yeah.
My favorite baseball game of all time, really. Another game where you could play straight up and play the franchise mode, Dynasty or whatever it was, super, super cleanly, or you could throw in random metal bats at one point and have so much fun. Even after that game was past its year window, I still played that game for another 4 or 5 years after that, just because of how much you could do with it. That was MVP Baseball 2005 is one of my all-time greats.
The amount of hours that I poured into, what was it, home run derby in a house where you were the living room was one of the potential fields, home plate was a CD disc and all that. Do you remember that?
I don't remember that one.
The soundtrack was incredible for that game too.
Oh,
I think
is.
Was that the debut of was it Bessie?
Yes.
And that was,
it was
right? Tessie.
Yes.
Yeah, that was high up on my list too.
All-time great soundtrack.
I am going with AP. Sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say that is the MLB version, and the college version is still on the table.
Yes. Yeah, AP has it. It's ESPN 2K5 was unreal and probably the best NFL football game ever made. I just remember just playing it so much. Like I can't remember all the details. I just remember like the nostalgia of it was just like if I could play that game right now, I would. I don't like it makes me miss, we could talk about this monopoly that EA Sports has on
We'll get
sports
to
games. Okay. Yes. But like 2K, I was always partial to 2K sports games, but all right, this is where it gets a little bit tougher. I gotta go. This one's for me. NCAA MVP baseball. I don't know exactly how it's titled, or MVP NCAA baseball. 05. We only got 2 years of it, but man, was it 2 good years. We were talking about that earlier. You and I were texting, hitting the ball out to left field out of old Alex Box onto the top of the dorm rooms. The ping of the metal bats. Man, like the game was just perfect. I'm probably going to go buy an old console in that game because us talking about it.
You find it. Let me know where you find it, and
I think
do the same thing.
I think on eBay. So I looked up, like, I don't know about Xbox, but it was a PlayStation 2 game, and it's backwards compatible on PS3, but it's got to be the original, like the fat PS3. So unfortunately, I got the newer one that I still have. That's the only old console I have, but I'll probably just go buy a PS2 because I miss it.
My PS3 burnt out, and that's why I ended up getting an Xbox. Paul's gonna hate that. And then Paul's making comments in the chat about Xbox. It's funny. All right, so I've got 2 here. My first one. This may be the only basketball game to make the list. I'm going to go NBA Street Volume 2.
Ooh.
Another game that even passed like its window. I guess that was the last one that they made. But like me and my cousin played that for like 10 years. That game was so much fun. You had all the legends, you had all the other random players in there that you could go play with. NBA Street is another one that I would absolutely put up on my Mount Rushmore of all time games, just because like of how much I played that. Last but not least, I'm gonna go. I had to get a soccer reference in here. I'm gonna go FIFA 13. FIFA 13 was the soccer game that made me fall in love with soccer. And I pretty much have bought FIFA, or FC as it is called now, every year since. That may stop now because EA Sports is a crock of shit, but we can get into that later. But yeah, FIFA 13 rounding out my list. We weren't going to make it through without having a soccer video game on it with me doing this list.
Of course. I mean, FIFA's fun enough to where I, like, as a previous to this World Cup, had no interest in soccer, and like there was times where I could play it and have fun. I can't remember the one. It wasn't 13. There was one I was telling you about. It was when the world they put the World Cup in
Cup one. Yeah.
It was or was it like now? Like it's just the World Cup's built into the game. It was an actual World Cup version, wasn't it not?
It did. It used to be like that for sure.
I had fun with that. Man, there's so many games left on this list that I can't include. I guess I'll just throw out, since I'm gonna be done. It's gonna be done after this. I'll throw out like a couple, like one until I started looking it up that deserves to be mentioned. And people may laugh at it, but if you think about the amount of fun that you had with everyone while playing it, Wii Sports was a blast. Like, it's Wii and it's not graphics and all that, but like swinging, hitting baseball, playing tennis with each other, the bowling. We still, like, by our family, we'll randomly throw in the Wii and bowl. Like, and yeah, you
Yep.
boys got multiple 300s here. I was very good. But Wii Sports is a blast. NBA Jam, NFL Blitz, Backyard Baseball was another one too. Like, that's all. I can't. Like, there's one that I'm saving my last spot for, so I can't put these there. You're way too young for this. Like, as I barely made it. But Tecmo Bowl on Nintendo was awesome.
I did Tecmo Bowl.
You played it?
Barry Sanders was a cheat code.
Barry Sanders, and why am I blanking on oh my god, football and baseball player.
Dion.
Lord, my brain's not. No, before him. I am blanking so hard. Went to Auburn. Jeez. Anyway, it'll come to me. There's no reason I should be forgetting this man's name. But I had to save one spot for Tiger Woods 2012, the Masters.
Oh, that's a good one.
That was the first time that they finally put Augusta in the game. And you had all the majors, all the big courses in that game. I played the hell out of that. You make your own guy and just play every single year. But just the music, the Augusta music and all that, just finally being in that game was just amazing. And I don't know if everyone's going to relate to that one, but for me, that was one of my favorites ever. I miss being able to go play a golf game at Augusta.
We are running off of the page right now. Let me see if I can fix this real quick. Oh, that's an old one. Trying to
Paul
fix
Bruce.
Move this up a little bit for the time being.
I'm looking up.
There we go. Yeah, that's a really, really good one. And I mean, that was probably one of the best ones.
I'm so embarrassed with myself. Did you? I'm sorry, I didn't hear you say Bo.
I said Bo Jackson was a cheat code.
Oh, I thought you said Barry Sanders was a cheat code.
Maybe I did.
I don't know, but Bo Jackson was the cheat code. It was like
unfair.
It was like how you play Grand Theft Auto and you just spawn in like tanks and all that sort of stuff whenever you want. All you do was just select who was he with the Raiders then? I can't remember. Rams. I don't remember. All you had to do was select the team that he was. All you had to do was select the team he was on, and that was like you pressed up, down, A, B, like whatever to get a tank in GTA. That's a wild tie-in.
You listed off a lot of my honorable mentions. I had the original Madden Mobile was elite. I remember being on my iPad in high school playing Madden Mobile the entire time, and the entire class was doing the same thing. It was fantastic. Super niche, but me and my roommates in college played Super Mega Baseball to an ungodly amount. I had Backyard Baseball as well. I had NFL Street on there that I wanted to get in there, but couldn't. I can't believe I couldn't find a spot for this, but I really wanted to throw MVP Baseball 2005 in there, and I really wanted to like diversify the games that I put in there. Slugfest not getting on there is criminal. NBA Jam is another one that like, oh man. NFL Blitz is another one, absolutely elite. Basically the same thing as Slugfest, just NFLized.
Right.
And I also had Tony Hawk Pro Skater.
Yes. Tony Hawk was great.
Tony Hawk was a really, really good one.
I think I forgot to mention these, but I mean, you got years of it. MLB The Show, but like 2013, I think that's the one that had what's his name from the Pirates on it. I cannot remember names tonight. Outfielder for the Pirates.
McCutchen, Andrew McCutchen. That one was good.
There was a couple you could pick from with NBA 2K before it just got so goofy. But like I wrote down 2K11. I think that's the one with Michael Jordan on the cover. Ken Griffey Jr.'s baseball game was really good. I don't remember what year it was. It was on N64. I think it was also on Super Nintendo. N64 is what I played it on too. I think we named them all, but that's a couple more good ones. That was hard to keep off. It is crazy not having. It's probably longevity of it, but like not having the show or 2K, NBA 2K on this list, but it's just because it's just I don't know, you get it every year, so it doesn't feel as, special.
Right. Going through some of the comments to fill in the viewers, NFL Blitz seems to be popular up there. NBA Street from AP, that's probably a good one to throw up there. Oh wait, did I put that? Yeah, I had NBA
You put
Street.
that. He said NFL Street too, though.
Oh, NFL Street. Okay, I'll throw NFL Street on there. If I could spell. What else? Robbie and Paul both wanted Frank Thomas, the Big Hurt.
Yeah, that's a good one. I'm looking back through.
I can't spell. Goodness gracious.
I'm trying to look for any that was mentioned twice.
If we don't get one that's mentioned twice, I'm throwing something up there myself.
I saw Robbie say backyard baseball. I was looking to see if anyone else said it.
I think we can either go backyard baseball or we can go with one of the shows. I'm leaning more towards backyard baseball.
Yeah, I like backyard baseball.
All right, we'll go backyard baseball.
That may end up costing me and you votes in the poll tomorrow, because people are gonna be drawn to that. But
it's a hell of a list the viewers have put together. NHL was always fun. NHL is a good one.
I never did play NHL. When I was like looking up old games, NHL '94 was like always in the top 5 of every list that I saw.
It's a really fun game. It's really fun game. And it's so simple too compared to like the current NHL games. Like the controls were so much more simplified. It's just press this button to shoot. Like whereas now you got to flick the stick in certain ways to do certain types of shots, and it's just like anytime I play NHL now, it's just give me the NHL '94 controls and we'll run that.
Yeah, that's how I kind of feel about it. Actually, it hasn't been too bad. I expected that when I downloaded FIFA or whatever it's called now. When I went in the other night and was playing it for the first time, I thought it was going to be like that, but I actually got to. I mean, all you need is, like, for me at least, is pass, shoot, switch players. Like you can get by with that. I'm sure there's some special stuff that makes it better when you get to higher competition. But for me, just playing, that's all I needed.
I'll send you some of those tips. I got you. I play enough FIFA.
Oh, cross too. Cross. A good cross too. Yeah. Got to hit square and cross. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and then the different types of shots with FIFA, it's L1 and C. Not C. Circle. Is like a chip shot.
What do you play on?
I don't. Great question. L1 and circle is like a chip shot. R1 and circle is like a finesse shot. Circle.
I need your tips on how to do a good corner. I haven't figured out corners yet.
I'll show you that.
I know how to do it. I just haven't
figured.
That's been fun though.
Yeah,
I can't wait to see the votes on this though.
I don't care if I lose. I could play these 4 games for the rest of my life and be perfectly happy.
I agree.
But you know what and the reason for that is because EA Sports is a crock of shit. Let's go down this path. I talked a little bit about it when I was streaming College Football 27 the other day. They have made some changes to Dynasty and Road to Glory. That is an absolute abuse of power. I'll start by saying that they've made changes to where you now have to pay to completely level up your coach in Dynasty mode, or pay to level up your player in Road to Glory. Like pay real money, not like fake game money. And changed the settings in it to where you can't. It is. I want to say more than virtually possible and more than nearly impossible to get to those top levels without paying money. And it's ridiculous. And I'll have a graphic pulled up. It's created a movement throughout some of the gaming community. Shout out to AI for doing this graphic because I did not have the time to do this. and these are some of the big creators, content creators in the space right now that are all of these guys have working relationships with EA Sports when it comes to college football 27 and all the college football games that have been out so far. Like, these are the guys that they push the game out to even before the early release, whatever. And they'll say, hey, do some streams, do some videos, put the game out there. And these guys are making great money off of it. And now they're firing back because they also think that this is an absolute load of crap. My favorite one on the board up here is from Not the Expert, who does some great videos. If you had a Nick Saban's exact career arc in college football 27, you would not hit the max level.
That's wild.
Yeah. Like, without paying anything, if you won 7 national championships, it is not enough. You have to pay real money to hit the max level. EA also put out a fact sheet, quote unquote, for some of their content creators to go and saying they didn't change anything. They just removed the faster and fastest XP sliders for in both Road to Glory and Dynasty, and they have no plans of changing it back. Which is why you can see that that hashtag CFB play don't pay hashtag at the bottom right that AI kind of screwed up, whatever. It's an absolute abuse of power. EA is trying to nickel and dime their customers every way possible, and it's just extremely frustrating.
It's EA in general, man. Like, that's what kind of alluded to earlier, where it's just, like they had like the monopoly on sports games, and it's just so frustrating. Microtransactions are just it shouldn't be for anything other than like cosmetic. Like, this should not be a pay for play. Like, it just should not be a thing. And this is something like I've played a lot of like multiplayer games over the years, from like Call of Duty to Destiny to just anything. And you should not be able to just buy something and spend money, and like the argument is like, well, you just don't spend your money. Well, no, but like, because if you want to, like, you feel like you almost have to sometimes to keep up with the people that are, like, it's in a tough spot. It's like either fall behind or spend money, and it's crap, and how much do you have to pay to get to the max level? What does it cost?
$100.
It's $100.
$100.
So we're paying, almost $100, maybe more depending on what version you got for the game itself. A yearly release game. It's not like this is something that's going to last multiple years. And then they also want to throw that on you. It's just it's crap. It's absurd. Actually, I mentioned Destiny. I played a lot of Destiny 2, both games, but there was a point where they started kind of working microtransactions into the actual game for like leveling up, and somehow, I have no idea how people figure this stuff out. Somebody figured out that there was some like hidden setting that they had put in to where the more you played the game, the slower you leveled up. And they were trying to funnel you into paying for it, because you were like, it's the same thing. Like, in it, that from Not the Expert, the career arc of Nick Saban doesn't get you. That's insane. That's insane. Bro.
It's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. And I'm glad you brought up Ultimate Team too, because Coyote commented something. I don't think you necessarily know about this. A lot of the non-FIFA players don't necessarily know about this either. EA Sports is being sued in England right now, and yes, they are going to lose that case almost immediately. Have you heard of this case?
EA is going to lose?
Yeah.
No, I haven't. Okay, really?
So it is involving FIFA and FC and Ultimate Team. And basically what the case stands on is Ultimate Team has become basically legalized gambling for underage people.
Ooh. Okay.
With the amount of pack buying and everything like that they incorporate, and how they push you to spend extra money in these games. And this is basically another version of that. Like,
like Counter-Strike with the pack or the box or whatever the case is, like that whole thing, people spending thousands of dollars to open up these boxes or whatever, and that's for weapon skins, so that's not even a good comparison.
No, it's extremely like an extremely similar aspect. Like they're getting sued for basically exposing children to gambling because anybody of any age can play this game. They're
Right.
exposing children to gambling is what the lawsuit rests on, basically.
Whew. Oh, so how do they? No, I'm gonna have to look into that because I had not heard about that. I am enamored with what the fallout of that would be, and what EA is forced to adjust to. What do they do? They just make it completely game driven XP to buy stuff, game driven currency earned. Which
you mean the way it should be,
right?
Right.
Yeah, right. But are they just like, man? Whew.
They pinch every penny one at a time that they can out of you until they make you used to certain things, and they just squeeze and squeeze and squeeze. And I'm so thrilled that this lawsuit's going on. It has been going on for a little bit. Coyote's got another comment about it. I'm gonna bring it up in a second. But now that the community is yelling back at these things, it's so fantastic to see, but it's so well overdue. Like EA has been trying to milk everybody for every hard-earned dime that they have for years now, and it's got to stop. It's got to stop.
And the thing is, because like if something like like a lawsuit like this or a boycott like this doesn't happen, like where's it? It's because they're just going to keep doing it more and more. It's not. They're not just going to decide at some point like, hey, I think we've done it enough. Let's not push the boundary any further. But of course, they're not going to do that. Like if they don't get stopped, they're just going to make it worse and worse and worse. So it's gotta. Yeah, I didn't read the whole thing. I'm throwing this up there though.
Yeah. So
if you have it.
Bordeaux quote tweeted the document that they put out. I'll read his if anybody wants to read along, it's in the top left of this little section right here. He said EA has responded, but sounds like they're going to stand firm for now and double down on the changes with microtransactions. They're also using creators to push their message without making a statement themselves or addressing anything. Quote, the core coach level progression is unchanged from college football 26. Not necessarily true, but Bordeaux doesn't say true, but normal is way too slow, and you removed the two faster settings. They acknowledged the faster coach progression was removed from Dynasty. Zero update on any plan to bring that back. Players on PC can also see that it's still in the game. It's just hidden right now because they can see it in the code. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
It's still in the code of the game. Yeah.
So, not to interrupt you, but since that's the case, I got two questions. When do you think they took it, since it was in the game, when do you think they took it out? Like how soon before release do you think they took it out? And were they plan on doing it for a certain amount of time before they like put it back into the game after they milk everyone?
That's a good question, because I'll tell you, none of the streamers and content creators that they allowed to have early access to the game noticed it until it was fully released. Only upon that, at that point, did they realize that they had made those changes. So it's almost like they knew they'd get a lot of blowback and have to change it back eventually. But he continues, zero mention of removing XP sliders from Road to Glory either. And then another quote from the document saying, continuing to monitor community feedback, basically meaning we don't want to make a change because we think it'll blow over. LMAO.
Blow over.
No shot. Like this was, and you can see at the top, like this was number 2 in trending with 76,000 posts just on X alone.
That's wild. By the way, AP said one of the streamers, he was saying somebody did notice it, or I'm not exactly sure. I didn't follow all this, but
Bordeaux was the one who didn't even realize it was removed. I don't think any of them really realized it was removed because they were just going in and playing just to kind of showcase and not actually like trying to build a dynasty or anything like that. But
yeah, and It's one thing, like I said, it still should not be in there. Let me be very clear about that. But it's
Right.
one thing if like you it's there for you to make a decision if you're just playing this single player and like you don't want to, because I've done it before, like building like I don't know Road to the Show back in the day, where like it's a little bit you can't do it now, but there was a time where you could just buy more. I don't remember what they were called, stubs or whatever. You could buy these things and level up quicker, and this is just by yourself, single player. And like I just chose to because like it's just gonna take so long. I'd rather just get to that point. That's one thing. Like just giving the option is fine. But now you're talking about where it's come into effect where it's like if you don't do it, then you're screwed when you play
It's almost
against
mandated.
yes, like, and then you want to push this online dynasty thing, and you want people to like make dynasties and then have all like and all that. Well, if that's in there, um, you and Paul, do it. Or I know y'all what if person A and B does it, then person C is like, well, I either have to because I'm gonna fall behind, or I'm just gonna get my butt kicked the entire like it's just not cool, man.
Well, and the thing with it is like you brought up online. First of all, any like solo dynasty, if you make it to 30 seasons and you play every single game across those 30 years and don't sim any, one, go touch some grass. Two, how you made it to 30 years. Three, most of them don't make it the full 30 years.
Right.
In a separate thing, online dynasties are not making it that far. It's impossible to coordinate that many people to play 30 seasons.
Not with the yearly release game.
Correct. The other thing is, and shout out to Poodle. I wish I would have. I almost threw his quote about this in there. It was just a little too long to fit on the graphic for me to be able to put in there. The other thing I guarantee you EA didn't think about is the people who throw money into these online dynasties, like betting against friends kind of thing, to play for money kind of thing. They'll throw hundreds of dollars into it. And then like you have certain commissioners of certain dynasties that like kind of get power hungry and start kicking people randomly. So now you're out $100 for paying the entry fee for this online dynasty. And even if you don't pay an entry fee and you spend the $100 and then get kicked out, you're out $100.
I didn't even until this very moment. It didn't even cross my mind that that's
possible that you could spend the $100,
well,
get kicked, and you don't get that back
because it's only a coach for that particular dynasty. Like
Correct.
It's not like overall. Like it's not
Correct.
like your overall. Like you theoretically could have to do it if you have two dynasties. You could have to do it twice or whatever. Like it's the options there. It's not like it's a one-time thing. I didn't even
correct.
That part didn't even cross. That makes it even worse. Like
I'm gonna pull up Poodle's tweet real quick so I can kind of give it a quick read.
Yeah, if you just put him up.
Let's see.
While you pull that up, I'm gonna pull this question up from Paul. I mean, this is the question, and they're banking on it not, that's what they're saying about like that it'll blow over. But I mean, that's subjective. I'll be honest, like it's probably not gonna. I just spent the money on a game. I'm not gonna stop paying for it. But what it could do though is prevent people from buying it that haven't bought it yet. They may say, well, hold on, I'm gonna hold on to my $100 to buy the game and just see where this goes, and like there's gonna be a certain group, not certain, there's gonna be a lot of people that just buy it regardless and be upset about it and have to deal with it. But I don't know.
It's not going to stop me from playing the game, but it's also not going to stop me from commenting the little hashtag on every single post that EA makes from here on out about college football 27. I'll tell you that. Just going to read through this real quick. Another thing I'm sure they considered, but it's an awful outcome. I don't think that they even considered it once to counterpoint that. But let's say you join an online league, spend $100 on your coach build, and then get kicked. You're out $100 and completely at mercy of league commissioners who can be hotheads. You spend $100 and the league decides to restart after 3 seasons. The money's gone. You start an offline league, spend $100, and then you decide a season in you want to restart with a different team. Road to Glory doesn't even make sense considering how short the mode can be, which is at most about 50 games. It also discourages people from joining and trying multiple leagues because they'll feel like they need to pay every time just to keep up. Some leagues will disable Coach XP purchases and require custom coaches, not realizing you'll never come close to a strong coach build. Other leagues will just go with current coaches, which takes away the immersion of the College Football 27 dynasty. It takes away the ability to do what you want and start to feel like you need to make business decisions to play dynasty. The more you think about it, the worse it gets.
That one of the last things that you just said, the immersion, and that's kind of goes with this. And that's the thing. So no, you could theoretically just play something and just like whatever, if you're not leveling up as quick and just do whatever, but like you're not fully immersed, so you're not utilizing all the extra features. Well, then what was the damn point of buying this new game? You could just play last year's. If that's the case,
right?
Like that's the thing. Like you bought the new one, and now it's like, oh well, my options are either play a watered down version, where I'm not leveling up as quickly or whatever, or pay this money. It's like, well, I should just played NCAA 26 then. I should just kept going with that. When I didn't have, if I didn't want to have to use, or if I was okay with not using the new features because or whatever, I could have just stuck with the old game. But I already spent the money on this game.
Right. Well, and he says, and they're taking the microtransactions to every. It started with Ultimate Team, and I was okay with it in Ultimate Team because you could still, there was still a way to get a lot of the cards that you needed or wanted to play with. There was a way to do it. It would have been a lot of grinding, but there's a way to do it. And then now they bring it to single player or online dynasties in a place where microtransactions have no place. They have absolutely no place, and it's absolutely disgusting.
Yeah, like I said, I having the option in there for me as an individual in a mode to where it just helps me if I don't want to just do the multi. I just like want to get to a certain spot, whatever. Like that's just your decision. That's based on hey, it's here if you want it. You don't have to have it, but it's here if you want it. But just making it like I didn't, like I said, until you mentioned that with the getting kicked out of leagues and all, it didn't even register to me that you create a different coach for all of that stuff. It's not like you create one coach when you start the game or like one profile, like a Call of Duty, like that's your profile. You level it up, and no matter what you play, whether it's this or that, it's all that based on that profile and what you already unlocked is across everything. Now we're talking about it is like based on that one singular dynasty, or that makes it that much worse.
Yeah, it's disgusting. It's disgusting, and I hate that I had to come on here and talk about this, but wanted to. I mean, I felt the need to rant about this and feel like it semi kind of ties in. I mean, streamed the game yesterday or the other day for an hour and a half or whatever, but yeah, it's annoying. It's frustrating. But it's a forced option now, and you have to pick and choose if you choose to make a major investment every time. At a certain point, I'm just going to be done. I'm just going to be if I had kids right now, if I'm mid 40s, I've got two boys who are wanting to play these games. Am I? Probably not. Sorry, I'm not going to let them milk me dry of all the money that I'm trying to bring home.
Right. And yeah. And no, like I'm glad you did, Paul, because I mean that is like we can sit here and just talk about one side, so it's good to look at both sides. But like that's like I said, until I started thinking about it, I'm like, well, the point is, I think the takeaway is like it's like talking about this and vocalizing the displeasure with how they did it. Like, will anything change? Maybe not, but you're at least throwing it out there for other people to see, and like I said, if you haven't bought the game yet, and it's like, well, why would I spend the money? I'm not going to want to spend the money when I get in there. I might as well just play last year's game. Like
right.
So
yeah.
I don't think anyone who I don't say anyone, because I'm sure somebody. I don't think there's gonna be a bunch of people that already purchased this game that are just gonna flat out stop playing it. because like got your money. What's that going to do at that point? But like I said, it's about the future, changes that can be made. But and that's the problem. This is the problem with one studio having exclusive rights to certain things, because EA is the only one that's making a college football game, so they can do what they want and they can do this bullshit and they can get away with it. You can tie it all back to EA pretty much every single time something like this comes up, and I wish there was a 2K college football game.
Over the years, FIFA and FC have lost the rights to certain things. One of those was the name of FIFA, and that's why it changed to FC. FC has also lost the rights to numerous teams, club teams, numerous international teams, a few leagues, which, like, if for anybody who doesn't know, there's numerous soccer leagues that they have in FIFA. But they've lost the rights to quite a few over the years. So I'm not going to say it's impossible, but it would be really difficult. And if EA's not careful, in 2026, where people can code with the help of AI, there's going to be somebody who's going to create a better product. They're going to get more people playing it, and they can go sell it to the NFL, the NCAA, the NBA, NHL, any of the soccer leagues that they want, and say, hey, let's work out a deal. We have a better product. We have more players now. We're enough players now that if you give us a license, we'll overtake EA. And if EA's not careful, it could happen, because the average person can learn how to code with AI pretty damn quick. Yeah. And if you don't believe me, ask AP, because AP is the king of vibe coding from what I've seen. And that's what it's called. Is my wife's in that industry. Like, that's what coding with AI is called, is vibe coding. It's extremely possible. So don't.
It's way more possible now than it was 10, 15 years ago.
It's way more possible than it was 3 years ago.
True. Yeah.
Sorry, I didn't mean to derail you.
No, I just repeat myself at this point. It's crap. I mean, that's what it is. It's why exclusivity, is bad in general, because they can do what they want. There's nothing you can do about it. Your only option is just don't get it. You don't get the product and you miss out. That's what sucks.
All right. Anything else before we wrap up? We've been on for 2 hours and 12 minutes, which is far too long.
That's crazy. I didn't even realize that. No, go and check out AP. I know we've been talking about it. AP and I's. I don't know if that's how you say that. Me and AP, whatever. Our piece, our collaboration piece for Chad Jones for the multi-sport LSU athlete thing came out on Monday. That was a lot of fun to write. I was telling AP, man, to go back and travel down memory lane and just talk about Chad Jones and write about it again was a lot of fun. I think it came out really good. So go check that out. Obviously, he's got recruiting and all that stuff you need there. All the typical stuff that you're going to touch on. But I did want to say, what's today? Yeah, so Friday, 2 days is my daughter's 7th birthday. So I just wanted to tell her happy birthday. I'd say her name all the time, Maxine. Happy birthday. Can't wait to go to the movie. I'm taking a day off to go spend the day with her for her birthday. And then our party's on Saturday. She's all ready for that. So anyway, I just wanted to give her a shout out on the show. She's about to be 7, which is crazy.
Awesome. I'll shout out my mom while we're shouting out birthdays. My mom's birthday is on Monday. She is not turning 7. I will say that. Happy birthday, Mom.
Happy birthday, Mom.
Trying to think anything else that we need. 58 days tomorrow until kickoff with LSU and Clemson. I'll try to get my posts out a little bit earlier than what I have been. It's been a busy couple weeks. Make sure to go follow us. I'm at Zach Nunez TV. He is at DC Billiot Jr. You can follow us on pretty much any social media you want. The show at Go Deep Dive. Follow our gracious network, the wonderful at Be in the Know on all platforms as well. Make sure to like and subscribe to the video. Ooh, it's late. Like the video, subscribe to our channel and the Nose channel. Make sure to check out the blogs that they have on there, and make sure once again to check out ATVS as David just pitched. Anything else I'm missing?
Nope, you didn't miss it. I just shout out one more time. Koki's piece with the draft has been coming out this week. I think the first part's already out. And then, like we said, we're going to link it. We referenced it in the interview with Jason, but his latest video with Joe Doyle, MLB Scout, has been live since the weekend. But we're going to put that in there as well. So go check out both of those things.
Awesome. Absolutely. We appreciate y'all joining us. Peace. Go Tigers. CFB. Play, don't pay. Dude.
Thank you, guys. Go Tigers.